call the meeting to order for January 15th, the Oregon City Arts Commission. Let's start off with roll call.
Amanda Dexter.
Here.
Alexis Ingram.
Present.
Kristen Azeri.
Here.
Joyce Lemaster.
Here.
Daria Loy.
Here.
Josh Planton.
Here.
Myra Ravenwise. I know she is intending to participate tonight via Zoom. Rebecca Sierra. Here. Amy Wilson.
Here.
Okay. Next up is adoption of the agenda. Were there any proposed additions to the agenda that was sent out? I talked to James earlier. There is one thing he would like to add to under discussion items section B is talk about his role as liaison with the Arts Commission, just to reemphasize the responsibilities that he takes on in that position. So we'll add that to the agenda. With that, is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I make a motion. I move.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. So we will move on then to approval of the minutes from December 18th. Are there any proposed changes? I have one change that I'd like to request, and that is under Museum of the Oregon Territory section on page 2. Rebecca related that she and Josh were invited to a meeting with the director of MOOT to discuss how MOOT, and I just want to replace that last part of the sentence with, and Oregon City Arts Commission can partner together. It wasn't so much about do more in their ecosystem, but just are there ways we could collaborate? They had some ideas that they shared with us, but just to make that clear that they're looking to partner and have a relationship going forward. Any other changes to the minutes? Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I move to
Thank you,
approve the
Amy.
minutes.
Second?
I second.
Thank you, Joyce. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. We will consider those approved. Next up is public comment. James, any public comment?
None at this moment.
Okay. Okay, next piece is the election of officers. So we have 3 officer positions that are going to be vacant and we need to fill. So the terms end as of January 1st, apart from the chair, which I just served to this meeting as from last year. So James and I talked about it. We think maybe the quickest way to do this is to go one by one, do nominations and then vote. If we have more than 2 nominees for a particular position, we'll do a write-in where people can write the name of the person they want to vote for, and we'll pass those down to James to then calculate the responses. Any questions on that process or concerns with that process?
We're just writing it down on a piece of paper.
Well, we'll vote, if we have just one nominee, we can vote on that one nominee, yes or no. If we have multiple people, we don't want to make it.
So do you want to say, for instance, do I have nominees for chair and
Yeah.
here nominees?
Yeah, and then here
Okay.
nominees, and then if we have multiple people, then we'll do a vote by writing. If not, then we'll just do a vote by yea or nay.
Well, Josh, I would like to nominate you for chair.
Okay? Anyone else? Nominations for chair position?
I would like to nominate Rebecca.
Okay. We have 2 nominations for chair. Any others? Okay, so everyone should have some blank paper within their packet. Daria, you'll have to send a message, I guess, to Ann or James, either in chat or through email,
Also,
can-
Myra is on the call.
Oh, and Myra, okay, Myra, same with you, so either in the chat, to Ann, or you can email her, and your vote is between myself and Rebecca.
Wait, look, I'll just solve this right now. I don't want to be chair this year. I'm not ready to do that, and I feel like we need to keep things as they are because we are midstream in a whole bunch of projects that we started in the middle of last year. So I would be happy to stay in the role where I am right now, as vice chair, and let Josh continue with what it is that we all started. So I don't know if that makes it easier. I really appreciate the vote of confidence, Daria, but I'm not ready to do that.
Okay,
Does anybody have any comments?
I was actually gonna try to get you to say that. That's smart.
okay. So we'll do a vote, for chair. The nominee is myself. I will, of course, abstain from the motion. But is there a motion to approve the nomination?
Okay, it's all me tonight. I move to approve the nomination of Josh. You guys step up.
Okay, Amy motion, is there a second?
Seconded. I second.
Mandy seconds. Okay, all those in favor say aye,
Aye.
and I abstain. The ayes have it. Okay. Next up is vice chair. Nominations for vice chair.
I nominate Rebecca.
Okay. Any other nominations for vice chair? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion to appoint Rebecca as vice chair for the Arts Commission for this next year?
I make a motion to nominate Rebecca as vice chair.
Thank you, Joyce. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Oh, no, we don't need that. The ayes have it. And of course, Rebecca abstained from that as well.
Yes, I
Right, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
I did.
just make it clean. Last up is the role of secretary. Nominations for a role of secretary. I will nominate Amy as secretary. She's done a great job.
I second.
Yeah. I third.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And Amy, you abstain from the vote,
I
correct?
did.
Okay,
I did.
okay.
It's the only way I got elected.
So the ayes have it. So officers for the next term are myself as chair, Rebecca as vice chair, and Amy as secretary. Well done, everyone. Much faster than I thought.
2026.
Okay. Next up, let's get into discussion items. First up is Cathy Rowe. Oh,
Nope, you're right. Keep going.
Cathy Rowe to come up and do an update on the public artwork assessment report that she's put together. And this isn't printed, this was on the digital agenda that Ann sent out. But if you need a copy of it, you can get it online, or I have,
Do have a spare,
okay.
if somebody prefers to look at paper, because I do. So I am Cathy Rowe. I did the original assessment in 2024. So it's been 2 years, there've been lots of changes. And I have added quite a few things and done a lot of updates. Have you all gotten a chance to look at the report? All right, so do you need me to go through specifics on anything?
If you could highlight just the main changes, like any additions or any major updates on pieces of artwork.
Okay, there were a couple of murals that I thought required an update. They had degraded a bit. The Joseph Meek mural, that was getting to a point of degradation where I had not expected in only 2 years to have it, like the actual paint material is starting to chip away. So I really feel strongly that if a restoration of that mural is going to happen, it really needs to happen soon, or else it may not be able to happen. Yes.
I have a quick question. So when you say 2 years ago, is that because you looked at it 2 years ago? Or was something done to it 2 years ago? Like what happened where you knew that it had degraded so much within the last 2 years?
Yeah, so in comparison to the original assessment in 2024, it was January of 2024, I believe, was the original assessment.
Okay,
So it's been 2 years.
okay,
And I was not expecting that much change. Yeah,
Okay. thanks.
And if you want me to display any of the images, let me know.
okay.
And for those who aren't aware, the Joseph Meek mural is the one that is on the Elks Lodge, just down on 99.
Is there a picture you can pull up?
Would you like me to pull up the page from the report?
Yeah, if you
I think
can.
it'd be helpful to see.
It's not a bad idea.
So that's pages, in the report, it's 29.
There it is.
Or 27 through
That,
29.
that's a painting, so there's lots of, our murals are done in painting form as well, so there's duplicates. But that's the actual mural.
Learn something new. I've been on here for 2 years and I didn't know that.
Actually, last time I saw it, it was in a closet down the hall, so it's a cool
Right.
painting.
Okay.
So these were the pictures from 2 years ago, actually, I believe. I did not update the images, I just updated the context of the degradation.
Okay.
It did look as though it had been cleaned, so it could be that the process of cleaning it
Power washing it.
has
removes some of the-
degraded it a little
okay.
bit.
That probably explains it. Okay. Any other questions on the Joseph Meek before Cathy moves on? Okay, go ahead.
The Hop family photo mural, which I think is just the next one in the book there. Yeah, that one. So that one was under review for restoration this past year, and the building owner has done some modifications to the building to actually help preserve the mural. There's like a little metal shelf on the top to sort of prevent water from going back behind the mural and getting inside the substrate. But under review I brought on an expert to help me look at this thing. It appears to be painted on a very brittle material, something akin to hardy board. So it was not something that could be easily removed. They were very scared that it would break if it was gonna come off the wall. So if a restoration were to happen, it would have to happen in place. It can't be taken off, restored somewhere, and then installed again.
Okay.
Let's see, see if there are any other major, most of these are minor changes, and then on the very last page of the report, I have a list of new listings. So, So not all of these were completed in the last 2 years, but they might have been things that were overlooked initially in the first report that was done 2 years ago.
Cathy, can you tell me, because I was working on this, can you tell me, I thought the reflections of the falls and the Forden Falls, those are two different murals?
Yes.
Okay.
Reflections of the Falls is the Brian Kriebel mural.
The one on the White Rabbit?
Yes, the one on Right Rabbit. And the Ford and the Falls is in a different location on Main Street. Where did that go? On the Ice House building.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Yeah. So the Ford faces the parking lot that's there.
It's kind of hidden by the trees, isn't it?
It didn't appear to have any trees directly around it, but if you were
Okay.
in the parking lot, there might be a,
I feel like there was,
Line
I
of
always
sight.
see it, but there's always something,
yeah,
maybe it's that bus stop.
it could be it. I think there's a sort of structure right there for getting your parking ticket thing as well, that might be obstructing it sometimes. And there's a very similar style mural on the other corner, which is the falls, some fishing happening at the falls, done in the same sort of black and white spray paint style.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Does anyone have any other questions for Cathy on the report?
Question about Singer Hill Cafe.
Yes,
Is that still in existence since the building's been sold?
so I took the image that is in the report. I took that, I think it was December, but I've noticed that they've done more work to the building and I haven't come past that in this January. So if in the past few weeks, they've done something to the mural, that's entirely possible. But as of like mid-December, it was still kind of in this state, which is all the plants were gone. And the mural with the mosaic insets were still there, but it's like, without the plants, it's kind of lost a lot of its context.
I noticed the windows are all boarded up.
Yeah.
James, have you been in contact with the new owners of that building at all?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Actually, they've been trying to, but they haven't been responsive.
Okay. Do we know kind of what new business it's gonna be?
Construction.
Construction? Okay,
Offices, yeah, their offices.
Construction office.
okay. So the fact that it's a cafe mural might not edge well with, okay.
That particular wall might be a historic section as well. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
So there might be barriers to messing with it, other than to,
Yeah.
just like
Would
clean
they
it
know
off.
that?
I don't know.
Well, we'll contact them.
If they're good contractors, they should be able to hold it.
It'll be a test.
We'll learn.
Yeah, we'll learn, but we'll contact them, let them know the significance of that mural.
Okay.
Okay, we appreciate that. I think, yeah, at least touching base with them and, asking, if they would be considered of keeping it.
It could easily be adapted to just not say cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, they could update it as well, I mean, yeah. Okay. Any other questions for Cathy?
Thank you for doing the inventory. I've been working with your spreadsheet and it's been really, really helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And for our new commissioners, kind of the point of this was just really a way for us to start cataloging a lot of art. We found that there's a number of lists online or elsewhere that we have found that didn't quite capture everything, and just making sure that we are tracking things, especially if things that are in need of repair, that we know about it, so we could work on getting them refurbished. We had Ogle Mountain, which was removed during COVID, that last year we paid for, or at least a portion of the restoration, have it put back up, just as it was, which was great. And it was great that we got to hear the story of that from the family that owned the building and also is tied to the story of the mural itself. So that was all great. Okay, one thing we do need to do then as an Arts Commission, because we did approve the project, we need to also now approve accepting this report as final so that we can pay Cathy. So is there a motion to approve the acceptance of this report as is?
I move that we approve
Thank you,
as
Amy.
is, acceptance of the report as is.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mandy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. We'll consider the report accepted. Thank you very much, Cathy, for all your hard work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. Now we're getting getting into the commission onboarding session, city government. James, I don't know if this would maybe be a good time for you to do your,
Well, I was gonna, well, first of all, let me say this. Let me say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You made it to
Happy New Year.
2026 as a body. From 16, I can remember when, well, I can't remember that far back, but I heard that this commission was, this body had been out of commission for at least 16, 17 years. So in the last 2 or 3, I guess the last 2 years, you've laid a very good foundation to go forward. So now it's all about, I love the arts. It's all about now laying the foundation to have more art and more appreciation of the art in the city. So I look forward. 2026 is going to be a spectacular year for the arts, and I'm sure that we will do everything as city liaison. We will do everything we possibly can to help you with that goal, to make it a spectacular year. Welcome to our newest appointees to the City Arts Commission, Kristen and Alexis, as well as a reappointment of Josh Blanton to the board. So with that said, I prepared a job description basically for the city liaison for you, and I did that earlier, but I think now that we have new members on the board, it's important that you also have this. So I'm not going to read all of this. I just wanted to give it to you so you can see, but a couple of things I wanted to point out. The city liaison was appointed by the city administration. And the city liaison is not an employee of the Arts Commission. But what I am here to help you with are all these things that are listed, but I want to bring out a couple of things. We write, the city liaison writes staff reports, creates and posts agendas for the Arts Commission public meetings. The liaison works with the chair to develop the agenda. The liaison serves as a guide on local municipal public policy, administrative operations, municipal-related public relations. The liaison works to ensure compliance with city commission directives. And the liaison brings forth programs and provides advice and guidance on program development. So those are the fundamentals. I just simply wanted to provide that to you. This is, yes, the session where what we really call the city's orientation to the Arts Commission. And I'm very fortunate to have 4 illustrious members of the city staff that have agreed to join us to provide the orientation for this group. And so therefore, if they insult you, please ignore them. Because I ignore them all the time. So, and it's good to call them friends. We have a good time because you have to have a good time at work because you spend so much time here. So I'm so appreciative of them to be here to help with this orientation of city government. So therefore, with that said, first up is the good Matt. I call him that. He's the finance director, Matt Zook of the city of Oregon City.
Matt, I can display that handout when you would like it to be displayed.
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you, Dr. Graham, which is what I love to call him, at least in public. Josh, it's good to see you again. I don't know if you guys realize that Josh was the 2025 Outstanding Committee Member for the city. If you weren't there, I remember being there, and it was last October, but it's good to have him on this committee. So I'm the finance director, Matt Zook, and I've been here for about 5 years. This is my probably second or third time before you. I'm not sure which ones of you are new, but James did ask me to come and just kind of give you an overview of what your financial situation is as a committee. And this report is in the packet, I believe, and on the screen. I'd like to run through with you, but and just answer any questions. As James mentioned, the Arts Commission was recommissioned or resurrected probably 3 or 4 years ago. and funded by the budget process. The city's on a 2-year budget process. And so every odd year, we will get together and set our budget, and the city commission funded that, the committee with an amount, and that's grown over time. What you see in front of you represents the biennial, 2-year budget is called a biennial budget, and we're in the 2025-27 budget period. So, and we run on a July to June year rather than a calendar year. So we're halfway through the first fiscal year. So the report that I've laid out for you is in two fiscal years. And the only importance to that really is that we have to report our financial statements on an annual basis, on a year basis, but the budget is a 2-year budget. So your budget, as displayed here, has a carryover. We'll start with the top line there, a carryover authorized from the 24-25 budget. And that's important because typically budgets don't carry over. We were able to get that unspent money approved to be rolled over into this new fiscal year. Typically what happens is any unspent money just goes back into the general fund pot and then it's reallocated. And in this case, it was reallocated $20,000. There was a little bit of carryover from the art show, just dollars. And that's why it's not at even 2,000 or 20,000. And then in the new budget year, broken out into each individual fiscal year is 25,000. I believe last cycle you had 20,000 per year. So it bumped up to 25,000 per year. So the combination of all those resources together is $70,088.11. So from there, I think one of the important things that I put at the bottom of the report is just a reminder that this budget money will expire at the end of on June 30, 2027. So I know that's unfortunately that's a legal requirement for us. Oregon state law dictates that, and I know that the work that you do is often done in months or maybe even years. So it's just important to recognize that and be in communication with James about the timing of things, and I think that was probably well received last year. So can't guarantee. In fact, it won't. Any unspent money is not meant to roll over, but just keep that in mind as you plan your strategy. The expenditures, you have very little. I've taken to doing both an actual and a projected, and the actual you've had just a $150 worth of expenses, and then I rely on James. I coordinate with him when he asks me to come and say, okay, what do you got on your plate? In the past, there's been a lot more activity on that. You had your art show and other grants, things like that. So at this point, James has informed me about your public art assessment to be spent in this fiscal year in the amount of $1,650. So we put it on here so that you kind of have an idea of where you're going to be when you're done with your projects. But obviously the projected has not yet been spent. It may have been committed, I don't know how far along you are. So at the end of the fiscal year, end of this fiscal year, at this present time, you have $43,000 roughly. And then in the next fiscal year, you'll get another $25,000. So right now at this point, your total income less what you've spent and what you anticipate spending is $68,000. Hopefully you'll find a good way to spend that, not all in one spot, but do spend it. So I put a note at the bottom of the report that just indicates where this funding is coming from. It is funded by transient lodging tax dollars, and those are generally restricted by the state for particular purposes. And art is what the work you do definitely does bring in people from out of the area. The state defines that as somebody coming in either for an overnight stay or greater than 50 miles away from the location. So we felt like that is a good purpose for the money. And so I guess it's easy to report at this point because there's not much spent and a lot of money to be spent, so.
I have a question.
Sure.
You said that even though the budget's over 2 years, a report's done every year. When is that report done?
For the city the formal report is done, it draws a line on June 30 for the 2026 for this next one. It takes months to prepare that report, so it's not generally released to the public until December. That doesn't mean you guys have to wait that long. This is a pretty simple budget to manage, and so anytime you guys need it, James comes down the hall, and I can prepare this. It's fairly easy to do that, but on the larger scale, we do prepare those statements at the end of each fiscal year, and those can be found on our website if you're really interested in understanding them. It's a lot. It's in the millions across the city. I think the concept that people tend to forget about when they look at the finance of a city is that there's so many pots of money that have restrictions on them for particular purposes. So the report that you might look at on the financial statement you look at on the website is going to have multiple layers from the 40,000 foot level, which is 6-9 digits of numbers, down to you won't even find the Arts Commission on there because it's small enough under the tourism, the transient lodging tax. So,
Okay.
yeah. But I can give you each a gold-leafed autographed copy if you'd like. I don't get very many requests for them, so.
I have a question. Is
Sure.
this commission authorized to accept donations from individuals or foundations?
Yeah, in fact, I think we did that last year, right? When you've had some donations. I don't think there's been that many. I'd have to go back and look, but yes, it would be a donation to the city, and that is, right. And so the Arts Commission doesn't have their own legal entity. They don't have their own tax ID number and operations, but so the city does receive donations for various things. So the Arts Commission would be able to do that.
We can't fundraise for ourselves, though. So like with the art show, we had to take that money and apply it to another organization, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But donations is separate from a fundraiser. I had a quick question. I was looking back at the minutes from August where you came and presented the budget
Right.
and the rollover. At that point, you had said that the rollover amount was $20,500 according to the minutes.
Okay.
So I just wanted to see if if there was a reason for the discrepancy between the $20,500 and this $20,088.11.
No. Did you want to answer that? Or?
Yeah, there were other expenditures that lowered that amount that you just stated.
After that fact, like, okay, from 2024, 2025
Yes.
biennium budget, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then one thing to note too is we also have a contract with our web developer to do maintenance on our website. I don't have a copy of the contract, but to my notes, it was like $400 a year. So we'll just want to maybe add that to our projected art assessment costs.
I don't believe I've seen that contract. Did I say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just for ongoing maintenance and stuff, since we're
And
not
hosting,
using,
maintenance and hosting.
yeah.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions about the budget or financial items for Matt?
No, but thank you for the rollover.
Sure.
Yeah. I guess one other question I have is kind of following up on the donations. If we go looking for grant funding to fund different projects, what type of communication do you want us with James's support to make sure the finance is brought in at the right times and make sure your team is aware, because we don't want to apply for something and then realize we've violated some
Right.
code.
I think what the city actually has a process outside of the committees where we where if it's a department is going to apply for a grant, we have we have some controls and some forms that we fill out to learn about. There's various requirements of a grant, et cetera, various reporting requirements, depends on where the grant's coming from. If it's coming from the federal government, they like to have us report on those. If it's an outside, say like the Carnegie Foundation or something like that, it's a private donation, is a little bit different. But James would just let us know what your thoughts are. And then we would handle at least as far as the writing of the grant. I mean, we don't have grant writers necessarily here.
Yeah.
Preferably you guys would be doing that, but we would like to have through James the oversight and the kind of like the sign off, because ultimately we have to report for it and we're on the hook for its compliance, et cetera.
So sign off before the grant application is submitted, you want to just be able to
yeah,
have a look at it? Okay.
That'd be good.
I mean, would it matter if it's, say, from a private entity that's like a small, like under $1,000 amount versus, is the dollar amount any concern, like what we go for? And if it's like a $500 grant versus a $10,000 grant, is that a much?
No, I think the process will still be the same. I mean, we're not looking to micromanage, but we've not drawn the line in the sand between sizes of grants necessarily.
Okay.
Again, it's more, some of it's not even just the size, it's more about the source again. I mean, in some regards.
Okay.
So, for example, every year we have to, the city gets, if we spend over $750,000 of federal money, there's a special audit that the federal government requires. None of this is necessarily federal for you guys, but just that's one of the things we have to do. And then also just even understanding what the grant requirements are, so that when our auditors come in, they won't get to talk to you, they'll get to talk to me.
Yeah.
I have to be on board
And that's
with it.
$750,000 like collectively?
Collectively, yeah.
Okay.
That's not, I mean, if you got a
So you could be
$750,000
a
grant.
$740, and if we got an $11,000 grant,
Yeah.
you want to know, okay.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to add is, as you know, many times when you apply for a grant, there are stipulations and requirements and issues that you have to, as a body, you have to comply with.
Yeah.
And so therefore, in that you're an advisory committee, it is the city commission that has to give you permission
Okay.
to do that.
Okay.
And also the city commission has to vote on to accept the grant. Because you just can't accept a grant and then commit the city to all these stipulations in the grant without the city commission's okay.
Okay. So if we want to do a grant, we got to make sure we just have a long enough runway to then, okay.
In my experience, most grants have a runway where there's even from the writing, writing the grant, you kind of have a schedule with that allows several months in advance of that. Even the grants that the city issues out, James advertises well in advance for people to apply and then review and all that. So I think I don't think it'd be an issue to get something in front of the commission in a timely manner.
Okay. And I mean, would it be different, James, if we did it as the economic development group submitting the grant on our behalf? Like, would that change the process and ease up the requirements for city commission approval and finance approval and all that?
No, I always have to check with the administration.
Okay.
On grant submittals, because
Okay.
I can't commit the administration to something that.
Understood. Okay.
So also, while we're on this subject, it's also important to keep in mind that with your involvement in raising money, you can't, as a city commission, people can't give you cash or can't give you a check directly. You cannot take money directly on behalf of the city. So the only people that can do that is staff.
Okay.
To do that. You can't take someone's cash or contribution. And the other thing is, there is, with regard to future fundraising activities, the concern is that the Arts Commission should not get as closely as it did with raising money with the arts show. The city manager and others in the administration has made it clear that the Arts Commission cannot do that type of fundraising. What you can do is contribute to someone who's actually putting on an art show. You can be a sponsor, but you can't run the thing. And that's the stipulation that the administration is going to take.
Okay.
So we could sponsor, but could we partner with someone who's doing something that we like?
It depends on what this partnership looks like.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, any other questions for Matt?
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being,
Thank
letting me
you.
be here.
So next up, we've got,
Jacob,
Jacob,
recorder.
His Excellency.
No. Oh, there it is. There you go, sir.
Hello.
Hello?
Some new faces since the last time I was here. If you don't know, I'm Jacob Wiley. I'm the city recorder, often called city clerk in other states, but Oregon has a tradition of calling them city recorders. So I'm in charge of posting the agendas for the City Commission and Urban Renewal Commission. I'm also an elections officer for the city, which means that I accept the candidate filings for City Commission and do any sort of ballot title, ballot measure handling for the city. And I'm also in charge of records management, so public documents and public records. So that's kind of what a city recorder does, so I'll get off my stump. Ooh, that's hard to see. So I'll start off with a little just brief discussion of kind of the fundamental documents of what makes the city and what makes the Arts Commission. The charter is what defines and creates the city. So our original incorporation was in 1844, and we're the oldest city in Oregon and the West Coast. The next level of legal stuff is the city code. If there's a conflict between the two, of course, the charter wins. Same with everything else below that. We have a board and committee orientation manual. That's a general manual for all of our boards and commissions. So I would take a look at that when you have a chance. It's on our website. Arts Commission has bylaws. So I believe that's being revised or...
They've been revised. We're waiting on the final decision on the municipal code from the city commission before
Right.
we approve those because they're
Got it.
sub-language that overlaps.
Yeah, so there's work going on with that right now. And you serve at the pleasure of the city commission and the mayor. This gives you the power to hold meetings, approve meeting minutes, vote on recommendations and advisory suggestions for the city commission to consider. And you also are uniquely tasked with mural code applications.
Our favorite.
So this is kind of just a broad brush on how the layers of our government work together. The city commission is, of course, everybody's boss. They're elected. Staff works in support of the city commission. Advisory committees help staff with the direction and priorities that the city commission has given us. And you're kind of our public sounding board for staff so that we can serve the city commission better. If you kind of see the direction and priorities come down from the city commission because they're everybody's boss, expertise, input, policy refinement, that kind of stuff goes up through advisory groups and staff and back to the city commission. So you notice that kind of makes a circle. It goes down and up and back and forth, and just like you recommended making updates to the bylaws and the city code, that's going back up, and then maybe they'll make amendments, it'll come back down. That's the cycle. Things to keep in mind as an advisory group: the committee takes action as a group and only as a group, so you don't have any independent power by nature of being on the Arts Commission yourself. Outside of the committee, you should only represent your own views and not views of the group. And unless you're, of course, you vote to say, we want you to go as our representative to this group and you have the authority to speak for us. Elected officials are democratically elected, and they determine the city's goals and desired outcomes. Appointed officials assist them in improving and achieving the city commission's goals using their own experience. If you're passionate about a certain subject, I would assume most of you or all of you are residents of the city. If you're passionate about something, you can communicate that directly to elected officials if it's something that the Arts Commission doesn't or can't pursue. But within this structure, the city staff are stuck with what the city commission gives us. Oregon law has defined advisory group members as public officials. And so what that means is you're kind of like a public employee. And that means that you can't use your position for personal gain, so don't take bribes, right? And you can't advocate for or against any measure while serving on the role of, in your official capacity. And a measure is something referred to the voters. This is something I just wanted to bring up, so you know. Say, for example, the Arts Commission recommends a ballot measure to amend the city charter to add a dedicated Arts Commissioner seat on the city commission. After the ballot title is referred to the voters, the Arts Commission should not make any further statements about that until the election is over. So it's kind of an awkward thing. Even if it was the Arts Commission driving an Arts Commission ballot measure, at that point, because you're considered a public employee, you couldn't speak further on the topic in your official capacity. If you're at home on your own, that's different, because then you're just a resident of the city and you have rights to do that. So group questions. Is there a problem? During a meeting, you discuss support of a ballot measure, refer to the voters, that adds Art Commission to the City Commissioner. That is a problem, right? Makes the Planning Commission 9 members instead of 7. Is that also a problem? Because it's not about Arts Commission?
No?
It is still a problem. You cannot comment in your official capacity on any ballot measure, no matter the topic.
Oh, if it's a ballot measure, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I was thinking if we decided to go down to 7, but not as a ballot measure.
Yeah, if it was something referred to the voters,
Okay.
you would not be able to comment on it, no matter the topic. So at home, I post on social media about the ballot measure. I'm on the committee and I don't support.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
So, but this would apply only to city ballots. So if, say, the school board issued a ballot to raise, do a, maybe it's not working this way in my head. If the school board was pushing forward to say, we want more funding, we want to do something to raise money for arts and culture, but because they're a separate entity from the city,
Doesn't make any difference.
doesn't make any difference.
It can be a state ballot measure.
Okay,
It could
any
be
ballot
any measure.
Okay.
The measure is defined as a state bill or anything. Anything
Okay.
referred to the voters from anywhere.
okay.
And it's any ballot measure. It doesn't have to just be Art Commission.
Right?
Okay.
Anything.
But city commissioners are excluded from that?
Elected officials are
Elected
excluded.
Okay.
Yeah. So one thing to keep in mind though is that's only during your official capacity as Arts Commissioner. So during a public meeting or at an Arts Commission event, something where you're wearing, I don't know if you've ever heard the analogy of wearing hats.
Yeah.
If you're wearing your Arts Commissioner hat, you can't do it. But when you go out the door in the parking lot and take off your Arts Commissioner hat, then you're okay. Right? So at home, I post a social media post about a ballot measure. I'm on a committee and I don't support.
But if you say you're on the committee, doesn't that put the hat back on?
You're allowed to tell people that you're on the committee, but you're actually okay. Because you're saying, I don't support this as a person, and you're at home. You're not on official capacity.
But if you say I'm on the committee, that just
I
gets
know.
really squishy.
It's probably better
best
not to
not
do
to.
that. But I believe the rule is that you can still say that you're, because that's public information.
True.
I have to apologize. I didn't realize we were going to do a test tonight.
I try to make them a little tricky, just for questions like that. I'm on that committee, and the committee doesn't support.
That's a problem. I think I would do that either.
That's a problem. It's because you're representing, you may or you may not have the support of the Arts Commissioners to represent the position of the Arts Commission.
You're speaking on behalf of the Arts Commission in that case.
Yeah, and that's not a good idea. I'm on that committee, and I'll make sure your request is granted by staff.
This is the problem.
Right, also a problem. Right. Can't make promises. as an advisory group.
We could do like a refresher if there is a ballot measure that we're all feeling like
Yes.
tricky about, okay.
Yeah. So let's just talk about general meeting management ideas. So the role of the chair, there's no special powers granted to the role of the chair. They cannot make a motion, so it's actually more restricted than a general member. They ensure that each member has an opportunity to speak and go around the table. They keep the committee on task, efficiently move through the agenda, maintain decorum when necessary. So if there's something, rules of decorum violation of some kind, the chair's job is to intervene in some way. The role of the vice chair just serves as chair in the absence of the chair. Motions and Robert's rules in quotes. So I put Robert's rules in quotes is because most of us use sort of a Robert's rules inspired method or procedure. So how you make a motion is you have discussion, motion, second, further debate, that's optional. And the chair restates the motion if everyone's confused, and vote. Under Robert's rules, you would actually restate the motion. And so other common items that come up, points of order. So if there's something that seems off and you are concerned, anybody at any time can say, hey, point of order, chair, I think this might violate our decorum rules or something else. One of the pet peeves I have is some folks will say, we're ready to call the question. That actually is a motion that requires a vote in and of itself, separate from the main motion. I just bring it up because it's commonly spoken. It's again, Robert's rules inspired. We don't really mean that as far as I'm aware, because that would require you to immediately vote with a 2/3 majority to pass, and that effectively ends discussion or ends debate, and you vote. There's another one out there, appeal. If you don't like what the chair does, you can just say, I would like to appeal that decision to the group, and then you all vote on the decision the chair made. So, for example, hey, I don't think what you said was correct, chair. The chair said that. You say, hey, actually, I feel like that's an okay thing to say under our rules. You can say appeal, and then everybody votes. So there's a couple different kinds of voting. There's roll call style vote, where each vote is recorded by the person. So you would go around and say everybody's name. This is how we do it at the city commission level. It's easiest for the person taking the minutes to do it that way so that they can, it's a requirement in the meeting minutes that each vote is recorded. The other style is acclamation style. So all in favor say aye. I went a little bit strong here to say the vote is invalid if you don't ask for nays and abstentions.
I was gonna say, we're gonna have to redo all our voting.
It's not invalid, but it begs the question, if you're just listening to a recording, did anyone want to vote no? Or did they vote no and we couldn't hear them? So it's, and because there's a restriction in the minutes, have to say the vote of each member. For the person doing the minutes on the other side, we don't know who voted no or who abstained. So we just want to be clear that the minutes can show who voted which way.
So do we have to ask for those then?
I'll ask for those going forward. I watch, trying to hear them all and watch the screens to make sure I see everyone kind of say something at that point. If I see someone not, then I will ask typically, but I'm not 100% perfect all the time of catching everyone. So I will ask going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so that's a bit of a problem for me because I wasn't writing down. I mean, I think they were all unanimous, but.
It's okay. If there were any nays, I would assume somebody would have spoken up and said, hey, actually, I want to vote against this.
Okay.
So you'd probably know, but this is the issue I'm talking about. It makes it difficult for the person doing minutes.
Yeah, definitely does. So would it be possible to just say, all voted aye, or I have to have names by each one?
So the rule says that you need to have all of the votes of each member
By name.
somehow discernible from the minutes. So if you say it was a unanimous in aye, then you know everyone voted yes.
So that's okay.
That's okay.
Okay, all right. Don't anybody ever say
I would
nay.
say, I would say that's the better level, but best level is actually listing everybody's name out and saying which way they voted. There's like better
Always
best.
striving to be better.
Types of answer is pretty obvious, aye, nay, and abstention. Conflicts of interest, this is pretty limited in your role here as arts commissioners because it's very financial focused and you do not have independent financial authority. But I'll talk about it just so you have an idea. Potential conflict of interest is when you think you could be indirectly benefiting somehow personally from a decision you're making. You may still participate in that discussion, but you have to state the conflict when it arises. So say a city commission, let's make it easier. They're residents of the city and they're awarding a contract for a sewer replacement and they live on the street that the sewer is on. They could potentially benefit from the benefit of the sewer system, but not directly getting a check cashed to them. They could potentially have a conflict. So you would announce, hey, I live on the street that we're awarding this contract for. It's going to make my sewer work better. Great.
So that goes for yays or no's. So if they said, I don't want it on my street because it's going to make a mess of construction for 6 months.
Yep, it doesn't matter
Okay.
which way you're going to vote. It's whether the conflict exists at all.
Okay.
And you can vote when you have a potential conflict of interest. Many people choose to abstain when they feel they have a potential conflict, but by the book, you do not have to. An actual conflict of interest means that I own a pipe business and I am on the city commission and I am voting to buy pipes from my business. That's directly benefiting you financially. You cannot participate in the discussion and you cannot vote. You basically you don't need to literally stand up and walk into the back of the room, but effectively, yes, you can't be there for the discussion. There is an exception if there's a quorum issue where, say, like a very small city has 3 city councilors, 2 of them have conflicts, then they can vote in that limited context just to get things done, but they can't talk. I know.
So much to remember.
I know, I'm trying to go quick too. Mural applications, I thought I'd touch on this very briefly. Things to think about, bias, are you friends with the applicant? Conflict of interest, could you somehow potentially benefit? Are you the artist doing the mural? Probably an issue. Are there intermediaries accidentally talking about the mural to an outside person that relays your comments to other arts commissioners? So we're going to get into that a little bit more with public meetings. There has to be notice for all meetings of the Arts Commission. And what that meeting occurs when there is a quorum of you talking about the same topic, or deliberating is the fancy word.
What makes ours a quorum? How many?
5.
5.
5 is the minimum number for you to approve something. Meetings must be open to the public, and minutes need to be created for each meeting. A quorum is more than 50% of the governing body, and in this case it would be you. Deliberating includes any discussion of the communications that are part of the decision-making process. It could be selecting the nature of a decision, gathering information, identifying and assessing alternatives, weighing information, or making a decision. That is interpreted very broadly, is what I'll say. It's pretty much anything that has to do with Arts Commission topics. So,
Or potential topics.
yes, anything other than purely factual information gathering or logistics. So if you're trying to plan, are you free next week for an Arts Commission meeting? That kind of thing, that's okay. Serial meetings and serial electronic meetings are the problem because they're hard to control as an individual. You don't know what someone else will do. Serial meetings occur when, say, 3 people talk about something, they meet for lunch, talk about Arts Commission related stuff. Then one person from that 3-person group goes to lunch with 2 or 3 other people. You've now gone over the 5 people and you've had a public meeting because you discussed Arts Commission things with a quorum outside of a public meeting. That can happen electronically as well. So if you are emailing each other and you reply all, and more than 5 of you respond in that thread, that email thread, you have now had an electronic public meeting with no public attendance and no public notice. This can also occur via intermediaries. So if 3 of you talk to James about a certain topic, and then James talks to 3 other arts commissioners about, they said this person said this person said this, and those 3 people give him more information, you've now had a public meeting via an intermediary. So that is also a problem. Subcommittees or work groups. So the statute that defines governing bodies, so the big word, includes subcommittees. So if you, as an arts commission, select a number of you to be on a named subcommittee, that is in and of itself a governing body. So now your quorum requirement is based on that number. So say it's 3 of you. That's not a quorum of the arts commission, but you've now got a quorum of the subcommittee, which means none of those 3 people can talk to each other at all for the subcommittee. But they could if they weren't part of the subcommittee. So that's kind of a gray
Would
zone.
you form a subcommittee so that you could work on something? So how can you do that if you can't talk? to
If you're not a quorum of the Arts Commission, you can meet to work on something.
Okay,
But
so
if
as
you
long as
are-
we're not
but if
5
you
of us
vote-
making a subcommittee.
Right, if you
Okay.
vote to create a subcommittee, that becomes a separate subdivision, like a separate governing body. And then the numbers change.
6x6 art show, meetings, because we were actually a committee.
How many people were on that committee?
There was 4 or 5.
It was less than 5, but we did record everything.
We did record everything, and we put an agenda out
Yeah,
before every meeting, so we followed the rules there.
so I know it seems like hair splitting, but if it's a
No, I'm
smaller
just trying
number.
to understand because we have some work sessions that will be coming up where we want to delegate and let others take lead on
Some
certain
smaller,
things.
a
Right,
smaller
and so I'm
number
trying-
of the Arts Commission is what that
And
would
so
be.
let's say there's a work group and there's 3 people, can they talk to each other?
Yes, as long as it's not a quorum.
We don't want to also call it a work group either. We want to be careful that we're just saying this is a group that's going to meet
These
and
3,
talk about
these
it.
3 arts commissioners gonna work on this thing.
If we call it a subcommittee, then they actually
Then
have
it
to.
triggers, then it
Because
triggers
then they
that.
become a body, just like Arts 9, it becomes a body of 3, and if they all
Right.
meet.
Right, then it's not public.
Okay, so
right?
that's what I was trying to clarify too. I'm glad you guys got a good start on it. As long as we don't call it a work group
Or a subcommittee?
or a subcommittee, it's still people, up to 4 of us can meet when we're trying to plan to work on some stuff. Okay?
The key thing, the red flag that could come up is intermediaries or serial meetings with those. So if you have 3 people meeting as a work group and then one of them talks to somebody else, now you've got a group of 4. And they talk to somebody else, now you've got a group of 5.
Okay.
So you have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
Not to scare you, the Oregon Government Ethics Commission enforces public meeting laws. Members of the governing body are personally liable for violations, not the city. There's a civil fine of up to $1,000 maximum. They often issue letters of education. So if it's not a very severe violation, they may just send you a letter that says, hey, we reviewed this thing and we believe you need to be educated. They can also require additional training like I'm giving you today. Is this a problem? During a public meeting, can I text my mom?
I think as long as you're not talking about your topic.
Well, if we're in a public meeting, I mean, we can talk to any public member, right? So,
Can you text 2 other members of the committee about the topic that you're currently discussing? Right,
Because it's 3.
yep. Well, you're in a public meeting, so it's not a quorum issue. It's a public access issue.
yeah, the comments should be public.
And so that would mean that the texts become public record.
So in like
we
a Zoom
recommend-
chat, because that's all gonna be public anyway, people could, who are participating virtually, can submit those comments. Because everything's gonna get recorded and
Yeah.
eventually could be found, okay.
And one good strategy, if you're in the hybrid meeting environment, is to read what they're writing in in the messages so that everyone can hear it. If they're attending online, they can't see it, so they wouldn't know it was there. Can you text the economic development manager during the meeting?
Would it depend on the context?
Yes.
Okay.
Generally, don't do it, because he's right there, and he'd love to talk to you. You know, obviously in context, be like, hey, I need to run to the bathroom or something, that's probably okay. But it does mean that text could become part of, you know, subject to a public records request or part of the public meeting document. Is this a problem? After the public meeting, in the parking lot, I talked to 5 other committee members about issues that just came up at the meeting.
Yes, that's a problem.
That is a problem, right? Not only is that a quorum, because now it's 6 people, you're talking about deliberating on issues that were discussed at the commission meeting, so that's not good.
What if it was decided, like we made a vote and we just talked about like it was good, we got that done,
I would recommend against it.
Would recommend, okay. So even if it's a
just to
done
be
matter,
safe.
it's still, okay.
If there was somebody that was really upset about the decision, say you denied a mural application, and you're like, phew, I'm sure glad we're done with that mural application, that was sure, no, please don't.
Yeah, I get you.
2 members decide to schedule a lunch meetup with a member of the public to talk to them about their mural application.
Would it be a problem if they disclosed it, that they did meet with them? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say we should do it, but.
Probably not a good idea because of the potential that they come and actually apply or are in the middle of applying, and now you're kind of discussing the thing outside of a meeting. It's a little gray because it's only 2 members, so you're less than a quorum.
Yeah.
But that's going to come up at a later art commission meeting, so it'd generally be not a good idea to do.
And it could create that chain of the intermediary if
Yes.
that person then went and talked to like 3
Right.
other commissioners.
If the applicant, for example,
Yeah.
said, hey, those 2 said this after the meeting, what do you think? Pretty soon you start adding to that number, and if you go over 5, you're in trouble. You talk to them about the youth baseball championship they're going to attend with their kids next week.
Absolutely
That's
not.
okay.
It is completely okay to have 2 of you talking about non-arts commission issues with the public. It's fine.
Unless they funded it.
Unless they funded it. Yes. There are hopes to be appointed to the Arts Commission next cycle.
This is kind of gray, I think, because we talked about recruiting and we try and promote recruitment of people, you know, good candidates to come and fill out the applications, but,
I don't
Yeah.
think anybody scheduled a lunch meetup, though. So if one of us happened to go out and we're like, hey, you know, you might want to apply for this because I know you've expressed interest, that's okay.
is this after they've submitted an application?
Or before.
Is there a difference?
Those are good things to be thinking about. I didn't write it. So if they had already applied, then you are going to be asked to do a recommendation. And that's going to be part of a future upcoming public meeting. So you might not want to do that, just
Yeah.
to make sure that there isn't that chain created, again, with serial meetings.
Okay.
And that's a blank, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, no, this is intentional. So we're getting to the end. The committee has 9 members. Member A emails member B and C working on a draft document for the current committee topic of whatever, topic X. Is that a problem?
It's under 4, so it's okay.
Correct.
And as long as it doesn't carry on, so it keeps building and becomes.
Like this.
Yeah.
Another member, D, holds up a sign in protest against the current topic across the street, which is seen by member E. Is this a problem?
I think it's quite a coincidence.
It's pretty strange.
Yeah, that would mean that more people know about this topic and are involved in the discussion.
You're thinking the right way.
So, I don't know, just avoid that.
Avoid that. Don't look out the window. This is actually okay because currently A, B, and C and D and E have not connected
Okay.
technically. But what happens when member E then texts member A about the same topic 2 weeks later? You've now connected the dots. So now you're in
Because
violation.
E was in conjunction with D.
Because E saw the sign.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, okay.
These are a little extreme, right? But this is just to kind of show you how none of these people, A, B, or C, had anything to do with the protest sign, or D, or E even walking by and seeing it. So it can kind of snowball without your intent.
Got it.
What if they talk about everything in the messages again at the public meeting? So they scoop in the emails, the texts, the poster, all of it gets scooped in at the next public meeting.
Well, it'd still be a violation, wouldn't it?
It's still a violation, correct? So you can try to remediate the issue, and OGEC looks favorably on that if you're trying to fix it, but the violation still exists. What if they submit their signs and text for the meeting record? Same thing. What? Go ahead.
What about like in a case, say, James sends out the minutes for the, ahead of our meeting, and more than 5 of us have comments on them? We won't, because AB does a great job, but if there's more than 5 comments on it, doesn't that count as a federal meeting?
It would if you were talking to each other about them.
Okay.
So if 5 of you sent them to each other, then yes. But
Okay.
if you're replying only to James,
okay.
who is collecting them, that's okay.
Okay, so,
Because-
you
because-
talked earlier about an intermediary connecting
Right.
groups of 3.
The key
This is
thing-
him connecting groups of 1.
Groups of 1, exactly.
Okay.
So a quorum never forms. But if he was to then forward the changes from all 5 people to all 5 people, now you have 5 people all talking about the same thing.
Right.
Okay.
I know it's complicated, but
You got that, James?
Don't talk to anybody ever
so
about
we-
anything.
So talk to us all individually.
and
I'll keep
we-
you all separate.
Okay.
we do this here and there, where we'll ask for individual feedback on certain things, and that's okay. But we can't communicate that to the other members unless it's at a public meeting.
Yeah.
Don't you want to tell them, don't do reply to all?
Don't reply all, yes. So the key takeaway I wanted to give you, what's the first rule of Arts Commission?
Have fun.
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk about
Arts Commission outside of public meetings. All right, do you guys have any questions for me?
No, that was great. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, that's
Yeah,
very
and
helpful.
We'll
Apart from the
forward
quiz.
these slides so that everybody has these slides.
Okay.
Very helpful.
And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. I'm at City Hall all day, so. Thank you.
Those are
Thank
great
you.
Thank you, Jacob.
scenarios, thank you.
Right. Don't fill up any sheets of paper across the street.
So we have to, so next on the agenda is our cool duo.
Didn't you mean the dynamic duo?
Well, they're cool duo. They're cool duo. So if you'd come up, the IT director, Mike, and also, okay, and then after him would be Jared Lyman.
Nice to meet you all. Mike Levi, IT Director for Oregon City. I've been at the city about 2.5 years now. This is my first government gig, so it's been a lot of fun, a lot of learning, and we've made some changes. So it's great to meet you all. I've heard about you. I've heard about the things you're doing. It sounds great. I love art too. And so seeing all the murals and everything going on, I think bringing people in the city, this is going to be really good for the city. I'm here to kind of explain where IT comes in. I was really happy to hear about you have somebody who's doing your website. And I heard that's also including not only the maintenance, but the hosting. So that's wonderful. When James came to me and asked about how are we going to manage the Arts Commission, and they want to have some program to be able to build their own website and do some of their own things in order to kind of give the city a little bit of control if, for argument's sake, something up on the Arts Commission website would go up and it's not something the city really wants to do because it doesn't meet with what the cities want to do. We have the ability to manage the domains. So what the domain is where it says, artscommission.com. That's the domain. We own that. The city owns that. It is paid through the Arts Commission funds. It's not very expensive. It is in the city's registrar, is what they call it, so I went ahead and purchased it, and now we own it. And then I point the DNS, which is where when people go to www. It takes them to the right place, and that's underneath your control. So basically, the bottom line is, if something happens and we need to shut something down really fast, I can do that very quickly. But at the same time, this is giving all of you the flexibility to build the page and the site that you really want to build. So it's a win-win on both sides. IT here at the city is a very small group. We have lots going on, especially this year. So I'm more than happy to answer questions if anything comes up. Will we be able to jump in and do an update to the Arts Commission website or something like that? Probably not. And it is perfectly good that we do not have access to it. So the whole goal here from the IT department is to kind of just protect the city a little bit, give you the flexibility that you need, yet have some guardrails around that a little bit. And so I'm not as fancy as Matt, or it's hard to beat what Jacob just did. That's a lot. So that's where we're at. Also, I think we also are a Microsoft shop, so some of the commission of sharing and the ability to look at files and work on things together. I know Ann is going to sit with each one of you and work on OneDrive and what does that look like. If you are an Apple person, you can get to it through a web browser. You don't have to install anything. And having that name, building yourself or getting a Microsoft account is not giving Microsoft access to any of your stuff. It's just creating an account that will allow you to log into the OneDrive that she shares with you. And so I will be here as she trains and works through that with all of you. Anything comes up, any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. And just work through James and we'll work through that.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
Okay. One is, James and I talked about this last year about, we realized when we were working on the website that we need to be able to have video hosted somewhere on a YouTube. It could be hidden, I just have to be able to put the URL in so that it will be embedded on the site. And so I didn't know if you guys have thought any further or had time to kind of think about that.
You got that one?
Okay, cool.
I'll let Jacob carry that one.
And then the other one is the OneDrive. So I use an iMac, Apple products, and I frequently have to bug Jacob because I will get an invite and I will go in and I can get in there and I can move around. And then when I get kicked out, I have to get a new invite. I can't ever go back in.
So when you get the invite and it comes with a URL and you get through your browser, just bookmark that. You shouldn't have to, once you're invited and you're added and you create your Microsoft account, you shouldn't have to go back in. That should be persistent.
Yeah,
So if there's a problem with that, we can work together and work through that.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Any other IT-related questions? A bit of background for our new members. Last year, we signed a memorandum of understanding which applied to what we were talking about here with the website and kind of outlines the scope. The bottom line is at any point with 30 days notice, the city can revoke that. So like you said, you can take out the website if you want to. The other piece that was important that we kind of had some clarification on was the city is going to point to its own Arts Commission webpage with any kind of links it does. But on that page, then there'll be links to our official website. But they were going to point internally areas that they control, and then we'll have our own separate site that'll have that one link on the Arts Commission page. So they won't necessarily point at our website from every link that they put out there. They'll keep it in-house.
Oh, I had one more question. When you renew the URL, the domain name, is that annually or just for a budget?
It's annually and it's automatic, and with James's help, I will take care of that. It's not that expensive.
Oh, I
think-
just want to add it to our expenditures.
Absolutely, yes,
Okay.
and so I can get James that dollar amount, and that goes for, like you had talked earlier with Matt on what that cost is for maintaining the site and the hosting and all that stuff that goes there too, but I can get him that number, and it won't change much, and it's not that much, it's like $20, $30, if I remember right.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing else? Thank you very much.
All right, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Like I said, I'm not as fancy as Matt.
You did great.
And I figure at this point, everybody wants to get home, so I didn't make a PowerPoint either. Didn't really have much of need for one on this, just try to be real quick. I'm Jared Lyman, I'm the communications manager for the city. I've been here just over 3 years now. Again, also fan of the arts. I'm an avid landscape photographer and dabbling in astrophotography lately as well. So I definitely appreciate the work that this group is doing and helping to. Art is a very big quality of life thing for a community, so I appreciate there's people who are prioritizing that. As the communications manager, I oversee, the press releases, trail news, e-trail news, social media, and so forth. I'm kind of the keeper of the brand, as it were. One of the processes I went through when I started here was to do what I called a brand confirmation process. Things had gotten a little just kind of frayed without somebody in this position for a while. So there was, different people using different fonts, different logos, different things and so forth. So I went through, created the voice for the city, created department logos for each department so everything matched and was the same, making sure we all used the same fonts and so forth. So I've been very, some people would say a little overly, putting over too much emphasis on that, but I think it's just the right amount. But those are kind of the things I've been focusing on. And when it comes with the Arts Commission, my goal is to help get the word out. Rebecca just sent me the trail news content, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It's already in the sheet, and I've already changed it twice as I try to figure out the layout. So that's going to be a whole new thing. But I'll just basically wanted to answer any questions anybody had after that very brief summary.
Is everyone familiar with the trail news?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it is going to be different.
It's going to be different. I was going to ask you if you wanted to describe how it's going to be different.
Yeah, so Trail News had been for, I don't even know how long now, a couple decades, a quarterly publication. It's grown in scope, just like everything else. Costs have been going up on everything. One of the issues that we had with the quarterly Trail News, and I'm so sorry you have to hear this again, Amy. She got to hear this presentation at CIC last week. One of the issues with the quarterly format is partially because of timelines that parks needed to be able to announce things, but also because we've got a publication that's supposed to be on the shelves for 3 months, and then you've got a deadline ahead of that for production and everything. We're looking at like 4-month windows sometimes. So for example, the magazine that's out right now was good for, late November through February, and they were turning in content in October. So it's kind of hard to provide timely content and so forth. And so I was noticing a lot of the content would kind of seem to be almost static. And my thought was, if we're going to be putting this much time and effort and money into this publication, I want this to be more timely to actually serve as more immediate updates. So starting February, it is going to be our first smaller kind of tabloid newspaper format monthly trail news newspaper instead of a magazine. It's going to be smaller, more, like I said, more timely updates, more news type of stuff than, grids and things like you'll see some of those other things. Parks and Recreation, we're working with them. They'll be doing a rec guide a few times a year to get that information out, and also using Trail News to announce, we've got some of the registrations opening for spring things and so forth coming up. That'll be in the February issue, but it's an interesting undertaking. I'm wondering if I bit off more than I should chew. But the team has been great. They've been behind it. There's been a lot of excitement with it. So I'm looking forward to seeing this happen.
Yeah, thank you for accepting our articles. And for all the commissioners, you guys got the packet from James last Friday. And at the end of it, I included the style guide that Jared was referring to. I don't think it's overkill. I actually really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Because it really helps us know, this is kind of the look and feel and how we talk about things. because I don't want to be the only one writing, so I'm hoping that other people will pick up some of the slack there. And that way it'll help you guys understand kind of how we talk as an arts commission in writing, and also on the website, and then for articles that go to Jared. So I'm looking at you guys.
And it is beautiful, I will say that.
Thank you.
It's extremely attractive now.
Thank you, I appreciate that. To answer your question from before about YouTube.
Yes, please.
What you can do, if you've got a video, send it to me. I will put it on the city's YouTube and we'll make the privacy settings as it is, but then I'll send you the embed code.
Oh, perfect.
Just because it being a city account, I've got to be very careful with access.
Totally fine.
And then the whole social media thing, so yeah.
I don't anticipate there's going to be a ton of them, but we realized like with the Art for Every Heart contest with the kids, one of the submissions was a video, and there was, I mean, it's, our web guy helped get it on there for this case, but you know, there will be times where maybe we want to have video of an event or something short. But I promise it won't be overkill.
No, I appreciate that. I'm glad to help. Just, send them to me, send them to James as well, so we just have that double check up on communication. Sometimes I get a lot of emails and then my attention span squirrels, so I might need that reminder, but yeah.
Okay, and thank you for your photos again.
Oh, thank you.
For those who are new, Jared went and took photos of, was 20, 30 different pieces of art that were actually in the art assessment report, kind of giving us some more artistic images that we can use for promotion on the website all over, and we're sharing those with the city as well. So the city wants to use them for other publications or promotions that are, it's all shared out.
And I should be sure to give credit to Jennifer, our front desk person. She's into photography as well. She helped me out, did most of the mural photography. So we kind of divided and conquered a little bit, because I was afraid I wasn't going to get everything done in time, so she helped there.
Okay.
Oh, that's really nice. So when we're working on uploading these images and stuff, we're putting the address, we're putting the name and title, but we're also, for some of them, I know Celicia with the DMMO has shared a couple images that I want to use, and I have to give credit. And that was one question I wanted for you, is like, would you like a credit line? We have to do it for some of these other ones. If so, I would love her name and your name, and then we can make sure that, and I'll just have to ask you which ones are yours.
Anything that I've taken, just give credit to the city of Oregon City.
Okay.
I try not to be self-serving and have my name go on things. But like on any of the mural ones, those were done by Jennifer. So,
Okay.
And Jennifer Hummel, and I'll send you her information.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I will note, you mentioned the article that Rebecca and I sent in. So at the last December meeting, we talked about, I did the recap of 2025 things we accomplished. Rebecca and I took that and put it into a written form, and we sent that to Jared to include in the next publication of the Trail News in its new format. And so it was just a 250-word summary of what we've done. So going forward, as we come up with ideas and stuff we want to share out, we'll have different people, bring forward options.
The thing to keep in mind on that one is my goal, and this is more, and this sounds oversimplified, but more news. And so some of this stuff, and some of our contributors in the magazine, you would see things that was just more like just the same thing every quarter, saying who they are, what they do, and so forth.
Yeah.
Or in this case, I want more updates. So if don't be afraid to not submit something if you don't have anything.
Yeah.
This is more about the quality over quantity of content. So don't feel like you have to have something in there. If there's nothing that month, then there's nothing. That's fine.
Yeah, and I remember you said that, and I realized like we were giving a recap of what happened last year, but it felt important to us.
No, in this case, I think it really did work because it is prescient because it is the end of the start of the new year now. But it did make sense, and these are things that haven't been out there. Right. So the thing I always say, when I went to college, one of my journalism professors said 3/4 of the word news is new. So in that respect, it was still new because people hadn't gotten that information. So it definitely worked.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right, but we will keep in mind, like, more timely, like if we have a grant opening up or if a new piece is
Exactly.
going in. Okay, and then just remind everyone, this is monthly now?
Yes,
Okay, and so the deadline is the third Wednesday at end of day, right? Second Wednesday?
Second Wednesday.
Sorry,
second Wednesday, yeah.
And 250, 300 words. So if you have something you want to talk about that is, you're not going to be able to squeeze in that short amount of time, which I found very difficult actually with the review. Note that we can look for other ways to publicize it.
Well, and work with me. You know, if you know something's gonna be longer ahead of time, I'll see what I can do space-wise and so
Okay.
forth. I'll try to figure some things out. Just that 250 to 300 is kind of a guideline that I'm giving everybody, but I'm also a fan of the story merits what the story merits.
Yeah.
If
Right.
it needs more words, it needs more. If it needs less, it needs less, so.
Okay. Any other questions?
Quick question. So the inventory of all of the art had originally, Public Works had a copy of it as well. So I just want to make sure you update what they have since they're semi-responsible for taking care of some of the stuff that we have and they monitor it. So that inventory should be readily available to the departments that need to have, I mean, it's not your guys' inventory, it's the city's inventory, but you guys are going to use it for art commission purposes. So I know John Lewis had gotten it done, but then we had more stuff added that didn't get added.
So we'll make sure that everybody has access to that then, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So real quick, James, I want to, before we move on to the next topic, go back, because I realized in Jacob's report, he said the chair should not make a motion. I made the motion to appoint Amy as secretary in our elections earlier, so we should probably do another motion vote to just make sure that's clean and clear.
Sure, that'd be fine.
According to parliamentary procedure, which I have a certificate in, the chair never makes a motion.
Yeah.
The chair can second anything, but the chair never makes a motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
You can
that's-
suggest somebody make it,
Yeah.
because at the commission, I've said, okay, here's the motion, somebody make the motion.
Yeah, it was the only one I made, and then I realized it after, and I'm like, okay, we gotta go back. So, is there a motion to appoint Amy as secretary of the Oregon City Arts Commission for the next one-year term?
I move to appoint Amy Wilson as the secretary of the Oregon City Arts Commission for the upcoming year.
Oh, you get an A.
I second. Also, what's wrong with your microphone?
It is pretty sad. No, yours, babe.
Mandy. Okay, so we have a
I
motion.
couldn't mentally
Sorry, we
hold
have a motion. Well, let's,
I will rephrase.
all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any objections? Okay, we'll consider approved unanimously. Thank you, everyone, for going back to that. So, next up on the agenda was the planning for stakeholders workshop. So, kind of a real quick summary. In December, Rebecca and I were invited to a workshop that was hosted by the Oregon City DMMO. And it brought in people from a few different areas and focused on arts and culture in Oregon City. The next one, we offered to host as an arts commission so that all the arts commission members could participate and join in the conversations. So what I'll describe here, I'll run through here real quick, is kind of a high-level idea of what that would look like. My ask would be that if people are comfortable with it at the end, we agree to move forward. Rebecca and I could work with James on planning it, helping invite the stakeholders we want to have there, and then we would have it as a work session for the Arts Commission where we wouldn't necessarily vote, we can't vote to approve anything in the work session, but we would have discussions and be able to collaborate with other stakeholders in Oregon City around arts and culture projects. So that's kind of the high level. Are there any questions before I go through a little more of the detail? Okay. So the idea, actually, we aren't trying to reinvent the wheel here. Celicia, who is the administrator, the executive director, I can't remember her title, for the Oregon City DMO, she sent out actually a final report and an agenda from the last one. And there was one piece of the meeting that we didn't get to, which was essentially the arts and culture experience design worksheet. What the idea was is that giving some themes or categories out to the group, having the group break into smaller groups and create, using a worksheet that she created, basically different concepts or projects and providing kind of the details. So who could we partner with? What would be the estimated costs? What are some possible challenges with this? And everyone break into those groups, worksheet this out, come back and then present those, and then come out of it with a list of prioritized projects that we could start maybe striking off and working through, for different arts and culture events or projects in Oregon City. So basically, our idea is take that same model and just apply it to this next work session and go through that worksheet. So spend the first 10 minutes recapping the last meeting, break into teams with these categories, and the categories that she had here were history and heritage, adventure and nature, family and community, contemporary arts and innovation, performance and music, culinary and craft, special events and classes, public and third spaces. And we could divvy those up amongst groups, depending on how many people attend. We could try and keep the groups in reasonable 4 or 5 people, and then come back and do kind of a sharing. So you would write your draft, and then we would rotate the worksheets to another group and let them kind of review it and kind of spitball, maybe some ideas or some additional things off of that, and then come back to the full group and review all of them, present all of them, and then have that priority list that then we could take as an arts commission back to our regular meetings and decide which ones we might want to move forward with funding or supporting or, whatever it might be in terms of the actual event or piece of art, and trying to, I was thinking you could take it and use it as a backbone for maybe an enhancement grant application that we would fill out and submit as a way to kind of keep the ball rolling down. So that's kind of the gist of what we would look at getting out of this workshop, is a list of prioritized projects that we could move forward with.
Can you tell me what the name of that worksheet is?
Say that again?
You said it is a list of prioritized projects, but it's a worksheet and you had a title for it.
Oh, Arts and Culture Experience Design Worksheet?
Arts and Cultures Experience Design Street.
Yeah, that's what Celicia called it. And, and we have a copy that we can share out, or with James, and James can share it out. We might make some modifications. It was pretty good. It was pretty robust, though. I mean, Celicia did a really good job on it. So I don't think there would be many, if any, changes before we go out. But, and then at the meeting, people would vote, like, which ones do we think would be, the most successful or the most impactful? Maybe it's the ones that are just going to be like, that's an easy get, right? We could do that. We could work that out pretty quickly and get us a good solid win early on. But it's just getting stakeholder buy-in and getting some collaboration going with all these other groups that are focused on arts and culture in Oregon City, or, I mean, some of them were marketing people, so they're not necessarily arts and culture focused, but they're more focused on what's gonna bring people to Oregon City, right? So, and thank you to Rebecca, we came up with, instead of just calling it, a work session, to make it a little more engaging, the Arts and Culture Action Lab is what we would call it on our invite. To come with your ideas, come ready to create something.
This is our meeting, the Arts and Culture Action Lab?
Yep.
Okay.
Yay. James, I have a question. Maybe I missed something in the relay of this and being new. I'm going to claim the new card. This exercise was done at the DMMO.
No, we didn't get to
We
that.
didn't get to this part of it.
I was
yeah.
Okay.
She pretty much laid out everything already, but it would just, the actual process of going through it didn't happen.
Well, it's
We
better
just
that
ran out
we're
of time.
running it too than the DMMO.
I don't disagree with you on
Okay,
that either.
great.
So,
Thanks.
And when are we thinking about this?
I don't know, what are people thinking? I was thinking sometime in February. I'm not sure if we'd have enough time to schedule it before, the next meeting, but it might be early March,
I think we should shoot for early March.
early March.
Yeah.
Keep in, everybody knows, make sure we don't schedule it during spring break, which is always toward the end of
That's
March.
the last week of March.
I'm gonna point to you to
Yeah.
tell me that one.
The
Okay,
last week of March.
Don't make it be that, and that's spring break.
Okay.
Do these meetings typically occur on the weekends or
Some of us
evenings
still
or
have to
during the
live by the
day?
schools.
When we've done work sessions in the past, they typically happen during the week, 6 to 8 o'clock. We typically do them in a different location than this one because there's oftentimes another meeting going. So we've hosted a lot of them over at the Willamette Falls Studios,
The library community.
the library community is where we host the last one, and we look for a place that would be large enough to host. The nice thing with the library is that they have the tables and the chairs, and you kind of break up easier in there. So that was where we did the last one, so we could look to just do it there again. So yeah, that's kind of,
Why would you not consider doing it on a Saturday? I mean, you got people that might want to come to this that, work.
I wasn't saying we didn't,
Yeah,
wouldn't
I mean,
consider
I just
that.
think
I'm just
you should
saying in the
do
past when we've done
Yeah.
work sessions, they've been during
Yeah.
the week, but
But
yeah.
if you're talking about a specific workshop, I don't look at that as a work session.
Yeah,
A work
yeah.
session is where you guys are discussing stuff and you get some input from the public, but you're not doing that. You're talking about a workshop, which is different than a work session.
No, it's an action lab.
I do have a question. I'm curious, so would this be sort of open invitation for anyone who wanted to come, or would we be specifically selecting who we would
We
want?
would send invites out to a large list. I mean, I'm trying to,
Well, the people that attended the first meeting.
the first meeting, but broaden it too. I mean, there's groups on here, I would love to see more participation from, say, Parks and Rec. Melissa was from Oregon City Parks and Rec, she joined, but if there's more people from there that want to join, maybe even someone specific from the library or what have you.
Prac, some people from Prac could
Yeah.
come. I would come basically trying to represent heritage, because in part of my other life, my many lives, I'm a docent and a manager of a house museum.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if maybe we have a conversation about who would be invited as a group, or?
We could totally do that. Especially if we were in early March, we could come up with a list. I mean, I would recommend we get the invite out to at least the people that came last time, and then if there's additional people we want to invite. And again, it wouldn't be just this group. It would technically be an open meeting, so people could come that, we would have to advertise it. So we couldn't block people from coming to it, but, yeah. Anyone we want to focus on people who have a vested interest in arts and culture in Oregon City, or who are potential partners for projects coming out of it, right? To get early buy-in.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest, the partner list that James, you guys built
Yeah,
and
that's
sent
that
out.
one.
There were a lot of people on there. And also Celicia had a number of people that didn't attend that I would love to see there. So I think we have a really nice list. I think it would be great though if we could share it with everyone, like compile it and share it with everyone, send it to James, and then,
The full invite list for this?
yeah, that
event?
we've collected so far and put it all together, and maybe other people will have other ones that they would like to make sure are on that list.
Yeah,
I know it's open meeting, but it would be nice to send out. Would you say a fancy invitation? Was it
Oh,
fancy?
that's no problem. Actually, the Arts Commission should
We're all
design,
about fancy.
the Arts Commission should make a fancy invitation.
we should.
We
Yeah.
should. I just, want to make sure that the performing arts community is represented, so,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, correct.
Yeah,
They were
I wanna
one of
take
the
a
ones
peek.
that- There were several that Celicia had on the list that didn't end up showing, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
December's always a hard
Renee,
time. so-
Hassle 'em.
Yeah,
Yeah, we want, I feel like we should have as broad a range as possible. One of the things that I think we constantly kind of have to remind people of is that the Arts Commission isn't just visual arts. Like, it's all of the arts. That's why we have our motto, art for every heart. So, yeah.
Yeah, I threw out, when we talked about this, I threw out the idea to her that, you know, it could be as simple as an Oregon City, music track, right? Where you have local musicians from Oregon City and we put on a track and we give it to businesses to play in their stores and stuff. And then it's kind of, you know, a little bit of experiencing local music while also, you know, kind of intertwined with businesses in Oregon City. It could be simple as that, right? And getting other people's perspectives from different disciplines is gonna help broaden those kinds of ideas. So with that, I don't think we need to make a motion on it at this point. If there would be a reason we need a motion, we could always come back in February, say if we wanted an allocated budget for anything. But most of the stuff was pens and paper, so I don't foresee a huge thing. But if there's no objections, Rebecca and I will work with James on making sure we get an invite list. If there's people you want us to invite to add to that list, please send them to us. We will share that full list out with everyone as well, or James will. And then we'll get to putting the planning in place and getting the room booked over at the library or wherever we find that works best. And I mean, I guess to the mayor's point, is a Saturday okay for people if we did a Saturday or a Sunday? I'm not sure.
Gotta watch out for the
Potentially,
church
yes.
people.
Yeah.
With enough notice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, notice.
We can look for some proposed dates and maybe even we can send out a doodle poll or something for this group, especially, because I would, at minimum, I'd like all 9 of us to be there.
For sure.
And then as many other people we can get there as possible would be great.
It might be nice too if we thought of maybe just having some water, some light snacks.
Yeah. They did have a lot of candy there. James snuck in and grabbed a few pieces of it.
Yeah. Well, they can have candy if they want, it's their deal. But,
You don't want everybody going on this all hipped up on shit.
I mean, but I guess the point is here is that if there's some art that you'd like to, that you would like to be included in the invitation, let me know. I mean, I know you kind of said that jokingly, but I think that's a great idea. You should, you're the Arts Commission, so you have to walk the talk, right?
Yeah. You're right.
I mean, we should use our branding, the Art for Every Heart stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of our motto, so we should really emphasize that in things we do like this.
Yeah.
So.
One comment I had when I was looking at the list is that instead of just the city of Westland and just the city of Lake Oswego, there are arts commissions. So is it Arts Commission of Lake Oswego and then Westland Arts and Culture, whatever, specifically instead of just City Hall?
In that list that James sent out? Yeah, okay. We can refine that.
Yeah.
What list are you talking about?
So I had that list that I shared at the December meeting, and then I sent it to James, and James shared it out. and he added
potential partners?
a potential partner. So
Okay.
trying to invite people from those as well is, I think, what Amy's getting at it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, for this meeting, what do people think about inviting people from outside the city, Westland and Lake Oswego? I don't think it would hurt, but
Well, you
we
know how
also-
I feel. We're trying to get a corridor going.
No, I get that. Then this piece, could we come up with something that potentially gets put into that project or under that project? Maybe, but also it's just, I figure we'll more Oregon City focused. But
Okay.
I'm okay either way. I don't really have an opinion on it.
It was just on the
asking.
list. And
I
was
like
just
your
thinking-
idea of keeping it focused here, because if you're talking about creating priority projects, that's not really going to affect our neighbors.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you want to try to show how that this is a complete sort of community feedback loop. I mean, you're going to get a lot of proposals from soup to nuts, and it'll be a matter of, what's doable, what's reasonable. I mean, because people, believe me, whenever we get, you should see some of the projects that they have gotten enhancement grants. I mean, it's not that they're out in left field, but they are, it's like, we could never, we can't really ever do that.
They're in
That's-
field,
Yeah, it's definitely, and you don't want to give people the impression that just because it's proposed it's going to happen, because you're gonna vet it further. You're gonna take it up from here, and you're gonna vet it, so that you get something that you guys all feel as an organization, as a commission, is going to be something beneficial to the community. So we're not talking about putting a piece of art out at Candy Lane Elementary School, which is not in the city limits.
Well, yeah, and I mean, the concepts we will share with everyone at the meeting, so that if, say, the DMMO wants to take one and say, we're gonna go do this, because we like this idea.
Yeah.
It wouldn't necessarily need to fall on us that we're the only ones coming out with it, but it
Exactly.
gives us the ideas at least that we can, take up and run with, so. Excellent, great. We got 9 minutes left. Next item on here was communications, future meeting topic. So, we had great speakers tonight from the city. I appreciate James and Ann helping coordinate all of that. Next meeting, we are gonna bring in someone from legal counsel to talk about the big, heavy-duty stuff. And also talk a bit about the mule code. We tied to that is there are some mule code like guidelines and updates we might want to look at doing to the entire thing, given the feedback we've had over the last several years that the program's been launched again. So those kind of intertwine with each other. We have the moon trap plaque that the mayor brought up at the last meeting. We want to circle back to that one and discuss about potentially moving that from its odd location. I don't know if
You're not gonna move it. It's
Well,
stamped in the sidewalk. My suggestion is that we look at creating that same thing, because it's a donation from the Rotary, take that same design and make it into a sign that's on the wall. Because we don't wanna change it within the Rotary Club, but it's already embedded in the sidewalk. We don't wanna pull it up, that panel up, and, because part of the problem is, I mentioned it to somebody today, and I said, have you ever walked down? I don't know, but I always look down. With all the people having dogs around, I'm looking down, when I'm walking down and ahead. So, I mean, I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm walking there and I see it, but
Yeah,
most people, and I said, well, I'll talk to him about why don't we put something on the wall? And it would be more recognition for our partners
Yes.
at Rotary.
correct. The next thing, the corridor project, identifying,
It's coming up at a work session.
When?
It's either
When?
February or March.
Well, it's gonna be, most likely February.
Yeah.
February
wow.
10th.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well, I mean, it's interesting because I had been told that it had been tacitly approved, so we
Well-
have tacitly moved forward.
Well, apparently, my rendition or my interpretation of what we did at the meeting when we said, yeah, that sounds good, needs to be more refined, I guess. I mean, I thought we said, yeah, let's move ahead with it, but it's on the topic. It's on this, I'm looking at
It
our
doesn't
work
mean it will
session
get
for,
removed, it just,
Oh, next
I think it got put on there because it was tied into all the mural codes and municipal codes and stuff.
it's
so.
two separate topics though on the work session. It's not tied into the.
Well, but because we discussed, I think, it seems like they just took everything and said, we're gonna come back to all
Right.
these things,
So
so.
I'll get the stamp of.
But that's supposed to be, according to James, February 10th, so that would be before our next meeting. So by our next meeting, we should have a little bit of an understanding of where it stands.
So in this instance, for our new commissioners, could we send out the little map section with the choices that we have that I asked you to send?
I think I
them?
already
You did, yeah,
Oh, for the two new ones too? Oh,
yeah.
look at you being so
We
efficient.
don't play.
Excellent. So that's all I mean, again, tacit or illicit, whatever we're doing here, I'm not really sure. But ideally, if we get the go-ahead, that we just need to figure out what our first contribution would be.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk about that.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I do need to add one more thing because it's been a couple of the commissioners, they haven't basically beat me over the head, but it's, I will say there is some level of expectation that there's going to be a larger push to get some more murals, because that's something that several of them have said.
Yep, we can maybe discuss that under the mural guidelines and stuff, making the process more user-friendly.
Well, not just the process, but that you're going to.
They want more murals.
But
Yes, thank you, Rebecca.
So, okay, so
And
I'm
we'll
just
get
gonna
the
say
code
this.
fixed.
Right now, yes, the code needs to be fixed, but right now, the application process is really cumbersome and it's
we'll
not
try to
very
make-
friendly. And so I've taken it upon myself to
Make it
make some
friendly.
suggestions and make
Sure.
it friendly. I hope to have that done in the next week.
Sure.
And then I can share it with James and Josh and see if there's a way that we can make it a little bit easier for people
I
who want
agree.
to apply. Because
It's not
I feel,
rocket science.
personally, I feel like the murals in Oregon City are already so great and interesting, and it's low-hanging fruit for us to be able to expand on that and have a mural trail and have, when we're looking at destination and bringing people in and asking them to go walk around and look at different things. So I'm really in favor of making that whole thing really work smoothly, so.
There was a brochure at one time, and I will tell you, in sorting through all my stuff, it's one of those things, I found it, I put it aside, I don't know where I put it when I set it aside.
Did
But
you
there was-
like the brochure? Is that what
It
you're
wasn't
saying?
whether I liked it or not, it just was information.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
it said they're here, 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 and here, and when you're wandering around, you can.
Oh,
go
that
look
kind,
at it.
yeah, the map.
Yeah,
And one of the other things, since Kathy's here, is once James and Josh look at this thing, Cathy, you've been through that process, right? So it would be great to have a citizen look who has gone through the mural process and see if this makes it easier and makes it more user-friendly and
She's the
also
guinea pig.
desirable to want to apply.
and I'm still working on the people at the Elks Club about the one that needs to be.
Yeah,
Oh.
which we heard tonight was, it looks as though they've cleaned the mural, but that took off a lot more.
Yes, which that was not the right thing to do.
Yeah,
So I just gotta lean on the right person.
okay. In terms of some other items, and again, these aren't all gonna happen in February just because we don't have enough time in the day, but, strategy document and partners discussion. We wanna start looking at where are some potential financial, grants we could apply to, and as we heard tonight, as we do that, we wanna make sure we have lots of runway to get approval from the city commission and the finance team before we submit anything. We have the enhancement grant, coming up as well, which we're eligible again this year to apply for. So there's a lot of opportunities there that we wanna start discussing and looking for those. I'll get to that in a second. I guess that was the last of the major things. Any other topics that you think we should be looking at addressing in the next, few meetings?
Maybe the 6x6 art show, and if we're gonna do that again,
Well,
and what
we
it
just
would
got
look
told a
like.
big fat no.
Well, for fundraising, but could we do it and make it be not a fundraiser?
We could do it in a different
In a different
model. than-
different
So we need to,
context.
we do need to, talk about that and what that would look like.
Well, I heard there's another organization that does a 6x6 show, so why can't we partner with them?
Yeah, no, that could be exactly what it is, and we need to put together what that would look like, what the partnership or whatever, if it was just a pure, we'll provide some sponsorship for it, or if it's, we wanna be involved in some capacity and, I don't know, but we need to talk through that and what that model would look like. It just can't be a model of
What we did.
what we did this time, so. Last thing, and kind of tied to future meetings, is the resource fair. So Oregon City is hosting a resource fair. It's on March 7th. It's kind of there you go. It's a fair for people to come and hear about all the different things happening in Oregon City where people get resources. So it's going to be a very broad demographic of people going to this. It's not just going to be art people, but it's going to be everyone. It's free for vendors to sign up. It's at the Pioneer Community Center. We thought, Rebecca and I talked about it, and we thought it would be a good idea maybe for us to have a booth there, and apply to have a booth there. And we could even share it with, we could reach out to Solution, see if she would be interested in having a joint booth with the DMO and us. And then using that opportunity to kind of get the word out about some of the stuff we're working on. Or we could even put together a survey that we could have people, fill out there and use it as, where did my thing go? as a way to kind of update the survey we did in 2022, which I found in my folder at home. This was the original survey results, and update this a bit, and then, you know, maybe get some new collected data that we could utilize going forward, so.
What type of information are you looking for?
I mean, I'm not looking, I would say we would review this in February and kind of select maybe some new questions, but, this was, what art programs would you like to see more of in Oregon City? Please prioritize in order the importance and focus of future public art projects, and this then broke it down to, and it kind of was related to our mission statement, our vision statement. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important do you think an art center would be to Oregon City? So I had questions that we were kind of related. We could kind of tie this in a little bit with our strategy document and ask questions related to that. We could do it to, you know, if we want to, one of our goals is to be kind of a thought leader. It could be around, what do you think about Oregon City having AI-generated art murals or something like that? You get public opinion on things. I mean, it just more data, and more, not saying that that's going to necessarily sway us one way or the other, but it's data that we can use in future discussions.
Planning on having any kind of handouts or?
Yeah, so what I would recommend we doing is like a jot form setup where it's a QR code that people could scan, and we could have handouts that we could give to people that talk about some of the things we've done in the past, so we could do a little bit of a printing. So if we want to move forward with this, I would say we would need an answer tonight to submit for the vendor, because that has to be done by February 6th. Again, it's free, but then come back in February with a proposed budget of here's things we want to have printed and out at the table to hand out and talk to people about, and survey questions, proposed survey questions to ask.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of kind of willy-nilly questions like this, surveys, because, you know, ideally you want some information that you can trust. And instead of doing a broad swath of the city with lots of different constituents, you've basically gotten whoever wanders into Pioneer Center.
This doesn't have to be the only time we use that survey. We could use it throughout the year to gather information.
I just wouldn't use it at all. I would do something that, you know, what do you think of AI art or something like that? It would be fine. Or to get people more familiar with what it is that we do. But I just, you know, whatever information we got back, I just wouldn't put a lot of weight on, so why do it? But it, you know, what do we want the city? Do we want them to know more about what we do?
Yeah,
I mean, and if we do, then let's tell them.
I feel like we need a board member, because Josh, you have too much to do, and I do too at the moment. We need a board member who would be willing to kind of take lead on this and be like, I would like to organize what we're going to do, and then come back in February.
Was there any information that you collected that stood out that you'd like to pursue? Like maybe a couple of topics that you'd like to, you know, follow up on?
Well, like when they talked about what art programs would you like to see most of, music wasn't actually number one, followed closely by youth art programs. And then,
But this is already 3 years old.
this is 3 years old. It was 119 responses, so it wasn't a huge response. We did this was virtual, like was in different, it was, I can't remember all the things it was tied to, but it was sent out in a number of different ways. I mean, 119 on a Arts Commission survey in a city of, what are we at, 38,000?
It was done as part of the tourism.
That's right, yeah.
When tourism was in my shop, so we did that survey.
If you want data that you can feel good about, you're gonna need to have a serious survey with a serious number of people, and not just somebody who wanders on a weekend day over here to the senior center. And I mean, that's just, I just wouldn't feel good about it. I mean, everybody'd say like, yeah, we wanna play tic-tac-toe all day long. Why don't you have a giant tic-tac-toe thing out here? I mean, what do we want from this really? We want them to know what we do. And so let's tell them about what we do. Let's have a map with our art that we just, you know, the listing that we got, the inventory that we've got. Or did you know about maybe some of our better murals?
The resource fair is a lot about getting information out to tell people that, hi, we're here.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do
I
cool
mean, it could
stuff.
just be as simple as that. Instead of necessarily a survey, it could just be getting the word out, what we do and what we're looking at doing, and
Yeah.
come to our meetings, bring ideas, bring concepts and comments.
Yeah.
and-
I feel like the surveys are actually, it's an art form to writing questions for surveys so that you actually get like usable data. So I think we should postpone the survey, but I do think that I would love to see somebody be like, yeah, I wanna brainstorm and think about this before the next meeting. If we want to do this, we have to decide tonight if we're gonna do this because, you know, the applications do.
Yeah.
And then is there somebody who wants to like kind of take lead on how we're going to present ourselves? What are we gonna do? What do we need to have printed, or written up?
And
Somebody say "toi" really quick to her.
while I appreciate Rebecca, asking someone else, I'm also happy to play a bit of a wall if you need to bounce some ideas off of. I'm always available.
Sorry, I shouldn't have spoken for you.
No, you're fine, you're fine. I appreciate it. It probably is what's needed. But I'm just saying, don't think that we're just gonna throw everything on you to do this. We're here to help, and, well, James for his advice as well, so. Anyone?
I'm also happy to help, but I'm out of town that weekend, so I can't
The
participate.
weekend of March 7th, okay.
You people help me too.
Okay. Do you wanna say,
Joyce has been
sure, both of you
voluntold.
would work on this, and then,
Already asked me.
okay?
We have liftoff.
It doesn't
Okay.
have to be complicated. It really doesn't. It can be really
It's like
simple.
a did you know flyer.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
are you aware of us, what we do?
yeah. Is there things
Information.
that we're, not doing that you
Like I
wanna
said,
see? I mean, we could take some feedback, it doesn't have to be an official survey, but we could take some feedback and, yeah,
Maybe a suggestion box.
we could do that.
That'd be cute.
Oh,
Comment
there you go.
box,
There you go. What would
and we
you
could
like
read
to
comments,
see?
yeah, we could read comments out at the next meeting.
Oh, God.
That's what I just said.
Okay, so, because there's no budget, we should make a motion. Is there a motion to approve moving forward with submitting a vendor application and putting up a booth? We will ask for joining with DMMO about that as well. Is that,
Please restate, submitting an application and.
sorry. Is there a motion to move forward with, submitting a vendor application for the resource fair, Oregon City Resource Fair, and putting a booth up, possibly in coordination, partnership with the Oregon City DMMO?
Let me see if I got this. I move that we submit an application for the Oregon City Arts Commission to have a booth at the Resource Fair at the Pioneer Community Center on March 7th in conjunction with DMMO,
Possibly in conjunction.
possibly in conjunction with DMMO.
She did it.
I like it.
Second.
That's all right.
Any seconds?
And people do they decorate, we did one for the Youth Advisory Commission and we had a nice little tablecloth and we
Yeah.
decorated the booth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a booth, it's a table, it's what you're gonna get, it's not a booth. so.
Can we also vote on a small budget?
Yeah, I was
But
about
we
to ask,
didn't-
can we get
We didn't
budget?
ask for everybody to, we just got a motion in a second.
Well, we can have further discussion,
Oh, yeah.
further
You gotta
discussion.
figure out what you want
Is
and
there
then
a
you do a
budget? What's the process for, if we
Well,
want
we
to
would need the
print
budget to apply, but then you could come back with a proposed budget of here's the things we'd like to do, here's what we would cost, and we could approve that at our February meeting.
Great.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Okay, we'll consider the motion approved unanimously. And that's it for the meeting. I'm sorry.
Did you hear from your two people, because they both didn't have their mics on, they didn't have.
I think I saw them
You saw,
both
did they put their hand
mouth
up?
it. I think I saw them both mouth it, but,
Good.
Myra and Daria, any objections to that last motion?
Okay.
Awesome, thank you.
No, I do want to mention something. I was asked by the Clackamas Arts Alliance to announce this, is that they're looking for an artist exhibit program manager. And this position will report to the executive director of the Arts Alliance. It's a 32-hour per week job. And it's also, the salary is $51,584. And it's also, it's paid time off, flexible scheduling, health care, and remote working stipends. So I have this flyer here. I will make copies if you're interested in passing it along, but I promise to make the announcement that they are looking for an artist exhibit program manager.
Great. Well, with that, we will adjourn the meeting at 8:41 p.m. on January 15th.